All right, today I'll be talking about two skill acquisition procedures for two separate students. One will be a shaping procedure and the other will be backward chaining. First, let's talk about Ted again. He's a 17-year-old male with autism spectrum disorder. He currently presents as nonverbal with a modified sign repertoire of less than 9 words. He's also been showing bathroom reluctance, and generally refuses to even go into the bathroom before engaging in SIV. So here's a quote from a previous care provider. Ted can use the bathroom. When he's with a caregiver he trusts, he does every step himself, but the self-injury and escalations are worse than when we let him use a diaper. So this program aims to teach Ted to independently use the bathroom while minimizing self-injurious behavior. So using the bathroom is a multi-step process, and because of his reluctance in going into the bathroom and his reluctance to have anyone else in the bathroom with him, I opted for a backward chain. That way he can be reinforced by getting to leave. So the typical chain for using the bathroom is to enter the bathroom and turn on the light, to take your pants down, to sit on the toilet, flush, pull your pants back up, wash hands, and then exit and turn off the light. So we're going to begin at the end. So first, the RBT or the BCBA, whoever is running the program, should enter the bathroom and turn on the light for him, and then prompt him to turn off the light. And we're going to go with most to least prompting. So at the beginning, maybe do hand over hand. And as soon as he turns off the light, he can leave, free to go. After that is mastered to an 80% criterion across multiple sessions, then we'll start working on washing hands. This may require further task analysis and it might be broken down into multiple steps. But because he washes his hands before eating, I think we'll be able to get away with wash hands as a single step in this backward chain. So, and again, this is in itself a multi-step process. So we'll have to see as we start doing it whether or not this needs to be reduced just for the sake of that frustration tolerance. The next step we'll work on is pants up. And for this, his pants don't need to be off first. We can just be tugging up at the belt loops, just as we do whenever pants need to be pulled up in the classroom setting. And we'll work with those existing pants up prompts. The next step we'll work on is flushing the toilet. And here we'll want to do this step for the first time under supervision of an experienced BCBA because there may be a sound sensitivity to consider there. The toilets can be quite loud at school. Next, we'll do sitting on the toilet. There are seat covers available, so again, we might not need to have pants down for sitting on the toilet at first. And we can gradually increase duration here. At first we can reinforce just for touching, and then work on extending that time as much as possible without escalation and SIB. Pants down, this is the largest point of concern. This child has a trauma history regarding caregivers in bathrooms. So again, we're gonna want experienced hands on deck for the first few times that we work with pants down. We'll be clear, we'll be gentle, and we're going to need to be very careful not to reinforce self-injurious behavior here, to not allow that to become an escape strategy. And then finally, we'll be to our last step of entering in lights on. So it's the last step, that's also the first step. And we'll prompt him to start using the bathroom after naps and meals, and try to generally wean him off of using depends, and certainly wean him off of having his depends changed in the classroom, because that's such a client dignity issue of allowing him to do that in front of other students. All right, next let's talk about Bill. Bill is a separate student. He's an 8-year-old male with the autism spectrum disorder, an extensive verbal repertoire. His vocabulary far exceeds most children his age. However, he does engage in aggression and property destruction, and for that reason has been generally kept out of his general education classroom, which is a problem. This is not a child who belongs in life skills. So we're going to work on him asking for help. We've been noticing with the ABC data that this student generally throws his laptop or starts kicking people when he doesn't know the right answer to something. So we're going to work on this as a differential. So for the behavior definition, we're going to work for the correct response of Bill saying teacher's name, so whether that's Mrs. Stoker or my name, can you help me please, in an appropriate situation. And an incorrect response will be Bill not saying the target phrase or engaging in property destruction or physical aggression. At first, our prompts will be verbal as well as gestural. So this student, because of his time and life skills, is familiar with some basic ASL. So for gestural, we'll be doing the ASL sign for help. We'll be pointing to ourselves while asking, what's my name, to get him familiar with using names. And we'll also work on the ASL sign for please. But for verbal prompts, we'll probably model the target phrase saying, teacher, can you help me please? And maybe even write this down and put it on his desk if necessary. But because he is verbal, we will start with help as an initial approximation and shape towards the target phrase gradually. So for fading and generalization, we're going to fade reinforcing help in appropriate situations. Again, we always want to think about the future adult with these students, and someone who merely yells, help, even when all that they need is math assistance, that's not really appropriate, and that is something that will eventually become stigmatizing. So we want to fade reinforcing that single word help cry, except for, again, in emergencies and bleeding. And then we will introduce expanded requests while reinforcing help. And we will fade help as he progresses and gradually increase the demand too. So at first with this, we're going to try to give him help as often as possible when he's using that correct phrase, even if it's something that seems like it's previously mastered or seems like something that a child his age should be able to do independently. While we're learning it, he gets the help that he asks for, but we will gradually increase academic demand once he has mastered it. And then for generalization, we need to generalize to other adults. If he is only asking his RBT for help or only asking one preferred adult in the building for help, that's not going to be useful to him as he grows and as he changes grade levels. So we're going to teach this to staff, not just behavior team staff, all staff, and we will practice in different settings. I believe that we should start with recess because he does enjoy being pushed on the swing, and then that both links him getting help with asking for help and provides adequate reinforcement. So for this shaping procedure, again, we're going to start with him just saying the word help. Then we're going to reinforce help while providing the assistance that he's asking for, and shape towards help please, with quickly, within that same week hopefully, doing teacher's name, help please, so that he learns that he has to tell a specific adult or ask someone specifically for help, that just yelling into a room, help me please, isn't going to get him very far. We will model this phrase and prompt new approximations as we see them, and reinforce progress at each stage. Make a big deal whenever he's closer. And reach the target phrase is our last step. I have every confidence that we will get there. These are my works cited. Mostly I referenced Cooper, of course, but also Hanley 2001. So thank you and have a good day.